Hi, I'm Dr. Lloyd Corder. Welcome to week 3 of Nonverbal Communication, the video overview of the week's material. This week we're talking about physical characteristics, and we have here basically what do our bodies communicate about who we are, and in particular what does our level of attractiveness do for us. You're going to see one of the big themes in this week's chapter and materials is that attractive people are generally more persuasive than non-attractive people. And to kick this off, there was a researcher by the name of Sheldon that basically said there are 3 body types in the world. And so look at this diagram for a second and think about yourself. Men, you've got to imagine yourselves in this too. Ectomorphs. This is a taller, skinnier person that's really doesn't have much body fat, whatever, type of a figure. There's the mesomorph, which is more in the middle. This is probably what you'd consider a fairly fit, toned person. And then there's the endomorph, which is more the jovial, maybe 10, 15, 20, 50 pounds overweight type person. And what they're saying is each of these body types tends to indicate the person's personality and how they behave. And so here's a picture of a woman that might be considered an ectomorph, another one a mesomorph, or an endomorph. Now look at it this way here. We could have each of these people could be the same body type, and what's interesting to me is what happens if you put on weight? What happens if you take it off? Does your personality change? So here's a percentage body fat chart. And we have a woman with 15% body fat, what she might look like, and a man with 8%, what he might look like. And then a little bit more. And then we go over all the way to 45% and 35%. Notice it's the same guy, the same head. What does it look like in terms of how much body fat that they're storing? I don't know where you are, but it would seem to me a lot of our magazines and so forth, somewhere in here, maybe even here and over, is what they would consider the most attractive or most fit versus people more on this side. So there's a very, very interesting self-report inventory in your book that you're going to have a lot of fun with taking to find out, based on the personalities that you're exhibiting, which body type are you. And it might be interesting to try that with some of your friends as well, family members, to see which ones make sense for you. Now, what else do we know? I mentioned that very attractive people seem to be more persuasive than non-attractive people. In what ways? What are some things we know? Well, they seem to be happier. They seem to get more respect. They are listened to more frequently than other people. In other words, they have credibility. All sorts of good things happen to people who are perceived to be attractive. Now, think about this for a moment. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but sometimes I walk into a store, I've just rolled out of bed, I haven't shaved, my hair isn't combed, I look like crap. I don't get nearly the service as if I walk in there with one of my suits and I'm decked out and I'm ready to go. I'm the same guy, but I feel more important when I feel more attractive. There was a student at the University of Pittsburgh did a little study one day. He acted and dressed like a student, went to a busy freeway north of town during rush hour, acted like his car was broken down, propped up the hood, and then timed how long it would take for somebody to stop and help him. Nobody stopped. Not after a half hour he left. The next day, he went to the exact same spot at the exact same time with the exact same car, opened up the hood, only this day he was dressed as a Catholic priest. How long do you think it took for somebody to stop and help him? And remember, there's a lot of Catholics in Pittsburgh. It was less than 2 minutes. The only thing that was different was the dress. So in some respects that may talk about the uniform, but I think more importantly in all of that, it also talks about attractiveness and how we dress and how we take care of ourselves and our bodies seem to indicate how persuasive we are. Let me really drive this point home. I've got another PowerPoint slide here that I'd like you to take a look at. Here are some people, block out the bottom for a moment. Just look at these women at the top here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them. I'd say generally rather unattractive if you look at them. They look kind of homey and glasses and rolled right out of bed and so on and so forth. Now all of a sudden, look at them dressed in evening gowns, fully made up with their hair professionally done. I mean, look at this woman here, Rachel, a total transformation of how, and her nails are all done, pedicures, you can see down here. Totally beautiful. Even this must be Sabrina or something, or Serena, whatever. Totally beautiful women versus totally ugly ducklings up here. Same person transformed to be more attractive. Wow. Maybe we ought to be asking ourselves, what can we do to be more attractive, and will we then be more persuasive? So that's really this week's nonverbal topic and area of focus. Does your body type communicate something, and does your attractiveness communicate something? Let's find out. Have a great week, and we will see you in next week's video. Thank you.